bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv. Globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Is it going to be cowboys that are going to save North America? Clive and Bundy demonized, but they stood up against the feds with guns, threatening to shoot anybody that engaged in the First Amendment. Free speech zones, attack dogs. They walked up against them with their guns aimed at them and stood up against them. And now in Mexico, it's cowboys again that are beating the drug cartels and the corrupt government that runs them. Very exciting. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, if somebody tries to push you around and dominate you and make you their slave and tell you you've done something wrong when you hadn't, that's an enemy trying to enslave you. And you got to stand up against them. I want to race through calls. David and Chris and Stephen and Andrew and so many others. Let's go to your calls right now on Mexico developing its own Second Amendment and the people lowering the crime rate. I read AP earlier admitting the crime rates have plunged in the 6 states and in all these towns where they've armed the towns, set up checkpoints, and they don't let the cartels in. If they want to have a firefight, they get one. And they are, the cartels are running. Or you can just let them walk into a restaurant and demand your wife and children or come to your house and kill you. I mean, you can only lay down so long, ladies and gentlemen. It feels much better to attack when you've been attacked. And it's what creates a free society. And I don't want to fight. I'm not looking for trouble. But you know what? I'm not going to be a slave. They want to send us to FEMA camps. They want to do all this. They're going to get a war, and they know it. This is illegitimate. A bunch of globalists in Europe want to control Mexico and the U.S., want to suck us dry, want to be tax exempt, want to have the Pope run around for them, calling for wealth redistribution. I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. But right now, let's go to your calls. David in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
George Washington said a free people ought not only to be armed, but disciplined.
And that's exactly what the Mexicans are doing, and I salute them. We salute you. This is what it's all about. Go ahead.
He also said to rely upon a militia is to rest upon a broken staff. So he needed his words pretty funny.
Well, no. He was talking about that in combat against the British. Early in the war, he wanted to organize military units trained by the Prussians, and that was out of context in the specific to the militia being the main battle force. It was one of the few areas where George Washington was proven wrong.
You're a dominant male, Alex Jones. Love your show.
I appreciate your call. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's just a fact. Let's talk to Chris in Indiana. Chris, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I grew up in the Mexican-like state of Illinois, and now I live in Indiana, and I'm a concealed carry weapon permit holder. Real quick, I'd like to make a suggestion for a guest, Steve Harris and or Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. I think that'd be a great thing because they're from England and all that. Where guns are banned as well.
Well, I met them. I got invited to backstage with them when Dave Mustaine was here when they played out at the Formula One track. And one of them I know has heard the show and was like a Christian. But I got to meet some of the other guys. And I like Iron Maiden. It's really great poetry. It's the opposite of Satanism. The churches don't even know what they're listening to. Don't even read the lyrics. And I would like to get the folks from Iron Maiden on. That's a good idea. We try to get the lead guy on, who's a billionaire from his other business ventures. He's launching his own airline. So that's probably the angle to get him on. You're already working on him. And again, I want to tell the crew something. Were you just on air? Because I want you guys, when you pop in to update on something like that, to be live.
Live. Got you.
That's a 3-year beg process I've done that just is... Buckley, I want you to enforce that. That I want the guys on the show, you know, if they're going to pop in, hey, we're already working on that. I want people to hear them.
We like being on the air. There's just so much talent back here. We don't want to take up your show.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you guys are working on it, so good. Say, hey, we're working on it. Just don't wait for orders from headquarters. Chime in.
Yes, sir.
Jeez. Never. Anyways, thank you, sir. I appreciate your... Do you have any points on the topic?
Yeah, I'm here in South Bend, Indiana. Our mayor is part of that Bloomberg group, Mayors Against Illegal Guns.
No, it's an anti-gun mafia. It's an anti-gun mafia to circumvent federal law and overthrow the republic. What a slimy group.
You're right. And when I was going to get my concealed carry weapon permit last year, about a couple months after Sandy Hook, had a couple of patriots in front of me at the police department also getting it. Like, yeah, I'm here for my concealed carry weapon permit. And, yeah, I had about 5 people in front of me, and it's like, I got the stats here. It just goes up like every quarter. It's like 500,000 people, and it's not just men. It's about 3/4 male, 1/4 female.
There is a revolution. It's not even about guns. It's about saying we are good. I took the cast of the hit TV show Silicon Valley out at Mike Judge's ranch even before it premiered, and we shot 50 cals, a bunch of other guns, and a bunch of these people never shot guns and have been kind of liberal. And within hours of shooting guns, they went, I drive a car, I pay taxes. Why does the government only have guns? This girl was shooting bullseye at 200 yards the first time she shot. You know, the redhead guy, a bunch of them were there. A bunch of those guys were there. In fact, most of those guys that are on screen were there. They were all great shots the first time they'd shot. And they were like, wow, this is no big deal. Yeah, why couldn't I have a gun? And that's what's happening here, is that we are literally promoting liberty one person at a time. And people have never shot guns. They shoot and they go, this is easy. Yeah, why shouldn't I be trusted to have guns? This is the 1776 revolution. This is it. And it will extinct criminal activity to a great extent. Kennesaw, Georgia had a 90+% drop in crime within 5 years of mandatory gun ownership. Now, I don't believe constitutionally you can have mandatory gun ownership. I understand it's in the Constitution that all able-bodied men have to have guns, but maybe you can do that as national, militia conscription. It is in the Constitution. Not foreign conscription, domestic conscription. But we got to watch it because the globalists will just turn them into their own domestic army against us. But it doesn't matter. The unconstitutional law in Georgia made the crime rate go down. I appreciate your call. Let's move quick. I'll never get to all these calls. One call a segment. Let's talk to Andrew in Illinois. Another call from Illinois. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. I want to talk a little bit off the subject. That's about something that happened in our past, and that is the Guyana Jonestown massacre. There was an improperly built cyanide holding pond that contaminated the groundwater that the wells were put into. And the people were sick and dying, and that is why they had to kill off with staged cyanide bottles to absolve the gold mining company from being
I've read that. I've seen that. Yeah, the CIA was involved. That's even in mainline TV shows.
But that was the real reason they were killed, to absolve the gold company.
Well, that's great, brother. We're talking about arming people worldwide. If you can't trust citizens with guns, how would you trust the government? What's your take on that?
Boyd card, I'm getting a concealed permit in the next month or two.
Well, good. I appreciate your call. God bless you. I'm not trying to be mean. We're just on a topic here. Stephen in Canada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
So good to talk to you. Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air worldwide.
The last time I spoke to you was on George Norris' show about having a difficult time calling in. I don't know if you remember. And then
I don't really remember, but you're on the air, brother, bigger than Dallas.
Okay. So just as an aside, I just thought that maybe you could instill like a text messaging news tip system. It's like
That's a great point. We could have like a little box on a page on InfoWars where folks can just put text messages in continually, and then that way we can get news tips and stuff like Drudge has. That's a great idea. I appreciate your call. These calls are not on topic, folks. JT Coyote out of Colorado. You're on the air, sir. What's your take on this?
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
I tell you what, 1776 is going to be old granddads protecting their grandchildren's future with single-shot rifles and the Constitution. Clive Bundy and this hero down in Mexico with his rolling block rifle. These are the people that are going to show the children how to keep their liberty.
And even if they take our guns, we can walk in wherever the enemy's at with a knife and or a hammer. I mean,
baseball bat, anything. Your boot will do it.
The will to resist is victory. Stay there. I want you to finish your point. JT Coyote, straight ahead. Abidi, Alex, Jesus, and Mark. We're going to go to all of you straight ahead, and then I'm going to hit the Pope calling for wealth redistribution. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table. And the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle.